Alrighty, we are finally live. Let's see if I can straighten this out just a little bit. And I don't think I have a power cord right now. Hello. So today apparently is our first ever live stream where we're going to take any questions you guys have. So that'll make things more interesting. Let's see, do I have a USB-C? That's a USB micro. Here's a USB-C. I just hope that it's long enough. Facebook user, Chase Dowell. A little raggedy tonight. So, yes, not a couple of days ago, yesterday was my birthday. And is it going to charge it? Yes. Sweet. So we can go as long as I want, or as long as you want, or as long as, the Lord wants. Whatever is longer. Actually, now we're going to need that. I'll just knock everything down. Wreck the whole place. I've got some things prepared. Some things. Not everything that I would like prepared. But we're close. Where's the birthday cake? I'm assuming that this Facebook user I'm looking at... Hey, Daniel, thank you. I'm assuming that this Facebook user that I'm looking at is our beloved spray arm, Charles Evans. Because it sounds like him, but if I'm mistaken, I am mistaken. So let me bring the laptop up just a little bit. Open her up so we can see the emails simultaneously. There's a lot that we still have to figure out, and I think that it doesn't show that my laptop is connected to my phone. So hopefully it is. Okay. So that can be exited. And we can go back to inbox. Get rid of the Mandela effect debate video. Oh, so we had a debate on the Mandela effect with author of the Conspiracy Theorist Survival Guide, John Kerwin. That was interesting. There. Weird. All right. So let's do our introduction, and then we'll get into the stuff that we don't have. We'll get into the folder that is like video topics that I've stored up, and we'll get to your guys' questions. You guys can put them in the live chat. You can put questions in the live chat on, I think there's a live chat on Facebook, the YouTube live chat. You can send them via email to the email address right below my name. Yeah, those ways work. Now, what this reminds me of, I'm going to turn to it right now before we start. Proverbs. Let's see. Yes. right. So this is Proverbs 22:17. We're going to read a few verses before we start. Then we're going to have our regular prayer and the introduction. So let me actually read the intro. Should probably go first just to get that out of the way. Hey, Jinjin. Jinjin is here, and he is in love with my lap. And I really don't want him making me sneeze an awful lot, but I do have Kleenexes. And you're such a good boy. You're so hard to say no to, but I might just throw you out the window. I don't know how well you guys can hear me because the microphone is way over there. Sorry about that. So now you have to turn all your computers down or whatever. Alrighty, let's see. Introduction. There lies behind the modern Bible version controversy a dark and ancient conspiracy that is destroying, undermining, we could say, Christianity, because it's not going to be destroyed, and civilization at this very moment. My name is Joseph Armstrong, and this is Jinjin, and welcome to the Bible version conspiracy. We don't even have a thumbnail for this one. This was impromptu. We'll have to get into it. Please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. It puts a rash on the backside of the Illuminati mole in your church, and it makes it so I don't have to make fake accounts and subscribe to myself. Get sucked into the conspiracy rabbit hole with us every Friday night, like now. For now, they're at 10. We'll have to see if we can make them earlier. Check out our links in the description for more information that the Illuminati has erased from my memory and to help us go full-time, spending long nights with the skeletons in James White's closet at our Buy Me a Coffee page. That's in the description. Tonight's topic is guaranteed to get weird because tonight is up to you. This is a viewer-dictated live stream. You guys can send in whatever questions or comments you have, whatever you would like. You can put them in the live chat. We'll be keeping an eye on that. And you can also send emails to us directly. I have that pulled up on my laptop at bibleversionconspiracy@gmail.com. So you guys can send in anything you want to those places. Let me actually bring this. Okay. And I don't think I'm pretty sure I can view the phone on here, but no, because then it just does the same stuff on that. I'm not sure if I go out of this, is it going to keep it? I don't know. Let me see something. Okay. Oops. Okay. So right now I've got it super minimized on my screen, but we should be able to take care of that shortly. Because I wasn't able to get what I wrote down on my sticky note transferred over to my tablet like I wanted to earlier. But we should be able to make it through. So prayers tonight. If you guys have any prayer requests that you guys would like to share, you guys can send those to the email address below. If you want to send them to us directly, or you can post them in the live chat or the comments or what have you. Oh, and also if you are a member, read any good books lately? Not this month, I'll tell you that. This month has been it's been a crater. Let's see. I've read the good book a little bit. Let's see. So prayer requests, you guys can send those in however you like. And if you're a member of our Buy Me a Coffee page, there is a special link that I sent out. It should be in your emails now. It's a link to the private chat where you guys can post, you know, in the private chat of this group. It gives you guys some special perks. So if you guys check that out, that would be awesome. You guys can, you know, and you guys can also join on the live video with your own video feed. You can yeah, it's really it's a really cool feature. So that's a special perk for our co-conspirators, and that I believe was sent out this morning. Or maybe, no, I'm pretty sure it was this morning. I've got a lot that I'm trying to nail down. The wind is blowing like crazy, and this tarp has at least 20 corners on it, and I'm trying to nail them all down in a storm. So, yeah. Let me know when you start a YouTube channel with 4 kids and a postpartum wife who is dealing with everything under the sun. And you let me know how that goes. And so, yeah, we're learning publicly, and I appreciate you guys sticking around and enjoying what we do here. So, first prayer request for my Aunt Jane. She has been recently widowed as my Uncle Jim died a few Tuesdays ago. His funeral was just this Saturday, so that's one thing that I've been dealing with a lot. That was actually the same day that Jinjin, you have got to get down. I'm sorry. Hang on one second. I should really just go wash my hands. Ay, ay, ay. But I'm not so stupid that I'm going to touch my face. And I am going to need something to drink. I'm not as stupid as I look. I'm much stupider. More stupider. Sorry, I have to do my grammar correctly. More stupider. So yeah, please keep my my Aunt Jane in prayer. And Jemima, as she was widowed earlier this year with 6 children under 12. We mention her every live stream, so please keep them in prayer. Joseph Jr. with his gut health. My wife Destiny with her fibromyalgia and her Lyme's. And dear, if you're watching this, which I kind of doubt that you are, but in case you are, if you could share this live stream on the messenger chat, that would be cool. Chase Dowell for the salvation of his parents and siblings, and our first co-conspirator, Chase Dowell, and another co-conspirator, David Jones. Please keep him in prayer for his doctoral dissertation work. He is studying and exploring the influence of famines on Irish literature. So that is his doctoral thesis, and it should be fascinating. So keep him in prayer for that. Please forgive my wife. She is a Canadian. So when I say that I'm stupid in a joking way, and she needs to come and tell me that I am not stupid, because, you know, Canadians, they take things kind of literal, not to be stereotypical about it or rude, but, you know, that's just kind of a trait. Like, they're polite and Americans are rude. So let's see. And thank you, dear, for sharing the link. I just saw that. Sweet. And it doesn't look like I have any emails. Let me check the spam. Hooray, no spam here. Alrighty. So what I'm gonna do, and we do, I actually have, I've been wanting to do this for a while, but I finally have a question of the day for you guys. Alrighty, so let's read that scripture verse for you guys. This is Revelation. This is Proverbs 22:17. And we're going to read several verses here. Alrighty. Bow down thine ear, and hear the words of the wise, and apply thine heart unto my knowledge. For it is a pleasant thing if thou keep them within thee. They shall withal be fitted in thy lips. What's it talking about? What's being fitted in your lips? What's being fitted in your lips is the words of the wise and my knowledge, which he talks about in verse 17. Tyler Doka would apply this verse to himself, but we're not talking about Tyler Doka tonight unless you guys bring him up. So, if it is... Oh, so wait a second. For it is a pleasant thing if thou keep them within thee. They shall withal be fitted in thy lips. I think that the number 18 seems to have a mark of indelibility or permanence. It seems to kind of carry that flavor. First, because 18 is 6 plus 6 plus 6, and it's like a sure thing that that you get the mark, and you go to hell because you're worshiping the beast knowingly and willingly. So nobody's forcing nobody to get the mark of the beast. Let's see. So they shall withal be fitted in thy lips. So this is like the mark of God, kind of. And I'm not trying to get too much out of the number 18 there, not trying to be super weird about it. But in the Bible, there are there are trends. 9 plus 9 as well. 9 twice. 9 is a very absolute number. In mathematics, everything seems to come back to the number 9, and then that doubled is also a very resolute kind of number. So, anyways, but we're not going to go too much into that. So, for it is a pleasant thing if thou keep them within thee; they shall withal be fitted in thy lips. That thy trust may be in the Lord, I have made known to thee this day, even to thee. Have not I written to thee excellent things in counsels and knowledge? Excellent things. You're reading the King James Bible, there's a lot of excellent things in there. And reading these verses, it's like it's written to the reader. Verse 21. That I might make thee know the certainty of the words of truth, that thou mightest answer the words of truth to them that send unto thee. So tonight, I'm not going to say that I have all of the answers. I certainly do not. I have, it seems, more questions than answers a lot of the time, still pursuing a lot of things, and it seems like every answer you get, there's 20 more questions. So it's that way with every, with every study, any endeavor, really. It's crazy. And I have a lot of questions regarding this topic. But, pardon me. But Proverbs was written to us, the Bible was written to us, that it might make us to know the certainty of the words of truth. So we see the words of truth that are in it, and we get certainty. Certainty, that word, as Joey Foss points out in his book, The Word God Will Keep It, certainty is not a part of the new versions anymore. Certainty, religious certainty, is supposed to be in the realm of Catholicism, according to James White. And you're not supposed to have certainty of the words of truth. You're not supposed to have certainty in anything. You're only supposed to have some kind of certainty in Jesus Christ somehow, but then he didn't leave us a Bible, and he didn't leave any more than he left us a vicar of Christ in Rome. So, but we need to know the certainty of the words of truth so that we can answer the words of the truth to them that send unto us. If we don't have certainty in the Bible, we're going to tend to look for our certainty and a foundation for what we believe in other places. And one of the most available places is in the wisdom of men. Ooh, BibleFacts.org. Ezra and the close of the canon. I wanna listen to that. I don't want to do a live stream now. Ken Johnson has all this great stuff. That thou mightest answer the words of truth to them that send unto thee. So when we get a question, we can go here. Let me show you what the Bible says about that. So when we have somebody, even this verse, when we have somebody just to harken back to the Mandela effect, the Bible is always changing. They're adding all these things that I didn't remember to the Bible on a daily basis. It's absolutely confounding how these things just keep appearing in the Bible. Which is funny because first, I don't believe it's happening. I've got a lot of ideas on that. I'll have to make a whole new thing about the Mandela effect. And I'm thinking about starting a new channel about the Mandela effect too. That should be interesting. But verse 21 talks about the certainty of the words of truth. Not that they're constantly changing and fluctuating and moving around and leaving and coming and going and all this other stuff. It says that Proverbs, the Bible, is written to us that we may have the certainty of the words of truth. You can be certain about a book that you have in front of you that's written on a static piece of paper that you can read, reread, come back, reference, count the words in it, and everything else. You can't have certainty in a book that is constantly changing. That's why so many people are leaving, they are abandoning the reading of the Bible because they believe that it's constantly changing, so why read it? A Mandela effect person is not following biblical mandates about faith in God's word. They claim that, the Antichrist has been given power to do this to the Bible. Well, first off, the Antichrist is not in power yet, so this doesn't happen. And Satan has corrupted the Bible, yes, but God has also preserved his word on pieces of paper, and we can see the corruption that happens on other pieces of paper that pretty much contain what God said, but not all of it. So we can see how Satan has actually affected the Bible. It doesn't have to be, this supernatural Bible changes stuff like they talk about. But we are also taking questions tonight about supernatural Bible changes. If you guys want any further clarification, or if you have like a gotcha question or something, then go right ahead. I'm totally open to that. I highly doubt that John Kerwin's going to tune in, but he may. We'll have to see. So yeah, that is the verses. Those are the verses that I wanted to send out to you guys this evening. So let me go quickly, if there's any such thing as quickly with my laptop. Let's go to the Bible version conspiracy account. Once that loads. Something went wrong. Oh, you don't say. Okay, so we're going to change accounts. Please stand by. All right, so there's that, and then I need to go to the apps. Hi, Jen, squeezing back under the door. Jen, I just got clear from your hair. I really don't need more. Could you go, maybe, buddy? I love you. I do love you, but you gotta stay away. I do. I love you. All right, so we're gonna go to Drive. All right. And then live stream, social. Okay, video ideas. We are going to ransack the video ideas folder. Oh, wow, it finally turned blue now that I clicked it 10 seconds ago. It's the computer, guys. It is not the internet connection. Hi, Jen. Processor on this thing, the memory, the RAM, everything is like half of what it should be. This is not a streaming laptop. And it certainly doesn't want to have to share the Wi-Fi with my phone. But it kind of has to. Oh, wow, so it's just not going to load. Okay, there we go. And tonight, no, I went into live streaming. Wrong folder. Video ideas. There we go. Ay, ay, ay. All right, so I'm going to go to my sticky note real quick just to see what I wanted to remind myself of. Oh, how do I get my phone to come up? Here we go. There's my texts. Apps. Open phone screen. No, actually, let's not do that. Start recording or casting with link to Windows. Cancel. What I'm going to do instead is I'm going to go to my Post-it app. Let's try start now. All right, there we go. This is so cool. Now I have full screen of StreamYard and a Post-it note on my laptop. Which, by the way, if you guys don't have the Post-it note app on your phone or whatever, highly recommend having a stylus, but it is so handy. It's like having a pocket full of sticky notes all the time, and you can edit them. You can take a picture of a sticky note that you write, and it will convert it to handwriting on the screen, so it's not like it has just a photo that you're writing on. It takes the color from the note itself, and you can change the color of the note, and you can erase on it, and it's just like, I love it. It is so cool. All right, so let me go through my points real quick. This is an Ask Me Anything stream. That doesn't mean I have the answers to everything stream. So, I believe that the honest answer is the best answer. When I worked at Ace Hardware for 5 years, they taught us that if you don't know the answer to something, do not make something up. Be honest and say, I don't know. 3 simple words, and they help a lot. Because if you mess up somebody's plumbing, you're going to have problems. So, the way to handle things when you don't know the answer is to say, I don't know. Let me call someone over who can help us. So, I will honestly say, on the live stream, people had me for breakfast in the comments. I actually made a video ranting about 2.5 hours because of the questions and problems and stuff in the comments just after 2 days on the so-called Mandela effect debate. If you guys are interested at all in seeing that rant, I hesitate to publish it because it literally is just me ranting. So it's kind of, I don't know. It might seem immature in some spots, and I'm kind of like, but I have run it past some of the friends and co-conspirators. So if you guys are interested in viewing it and letting me know your thoughts on it before I publish it, please let me know. And I can put a link to it either in the description or send you a link directly. If you want to email me, that would probably be a good way. Let me go to video scripts, and we're going to go to Mandela effect. What about Erasmus? Miracle Men, who is Virginia Mollenkott? Narcissism. Case 4 against hazardous materials. Respond to Ward's article. I would like to respond to Ward's article tonight, too. We'll have to see how that works out. We're going to add link to Rant, question mark. Okay. So we'll see. So the honest answer, I believe, is the best answer that I can give. I will not try to avoid your questions. I will not try to do a, well, you answer this question first. Because if I try to do that whole answer your question with a question thing, that's because the answer to the question that I ask you is really going to help you answer your own question. So, all right. So kind of like, Jesus did that a lot too. He wasn't avoiding the Pharisees' question. He was helping to point out their hypocrisy. I don't have all the answers. I will say that publicly. And I want to be quick to say that I don't know. So if you guys come up with a textual question that I've never heard of, like it had been, hang on a second. Weird. I don't know why that came back up. I should probably exit out of this at some point. Like for instance, the missing verses in Psalms and Lamentations. Like I had never heard of those, and I could be like, honestly, I don't know about those. There is supposed to be a reason why the one of them, and then the other one, it was only a part of a verse in Lamentations, if I'm not mistaken. But it's an interesting piece of history that I really don't know about. So Ken Johnson actually has a lot more information on those than I. So if you guys have questions that you want to ask, you can put them in the private chat if you are a co-conspirator here in StreamYard. Or you can post them in the YouTube live chat, or I think there's a live chat with Facebook too. If you leave a Facebook comment, I probably won't see it. To be honest, I probably won't see it. Or YouTube comment. If you comment on a YouTube video, I will probably see it. I try to go through all of the comments. My phone doesn't tell me about all the comments I get, but it does hit most of them, which I'm pretty happy with. I gotta stop saying I have a note. Stop saying UHMN as one word. Okay, I'm not gonna try to say that anymore. YouTube or Facebook, if there's a live chat there, you can leave a comment there, and it should show up right here on my screen. You can send a Gmail email to me at the email address right below my name. Anything relating to the Bible version conspiracy. Anything that, I can help you with regarding the translation issue, textual stuff, history, conspiracy stuff. So if you have Bigfoot questions, whatever I can help you with, I will try. I almost said it, but I didn't. See that? After the live stream, if you have questions and you didn't make it to the live stream, that is okay. If you're watching this after the fact, there are a lot of people that I love and appreciate that watch this after the fact. So you can leave a comment on this video, and I'd be glad to help you out that way. Or you can email me at BibleVersionConspiracy@gmail.com. And I would like to recommend you guys some books and websites that I don't know if I have them linked in the description or not. These will all make it onto our website that I'm still working on. I haven't had a chance to do anything with it all month for the most part, but we will see how that turns out. And I'll add all the things that I mentioned to the comment, to the not the comment, the to the description below. Early manuscripts, church fathers, and the authorized version is pretty good for textual stuff. So hard. You think it'd be easy to just go into a live stream and not say but it's hard. It's very hard. One book, one authority is good. It's got a lot in there. It's huge. In Awe of Thy Word is also very good for English Bible history, going back to the Gothic Bible, questions about what Wycliffe translated from, questions about Erasmus, questions about King James and his translators. Hazardous Materials is really good. And New Age Bible Versions is pretty good. But I'm not sure how good they are on specifically on questions. The Corruption of the Word is fascinating. I'll just write that one down, because that one's like, it gives you a whole new perspective on textual criticism. All these books will make it onto our website. Early manuscripts by Mormon. I wish I could just recommend all of the Ken Johnson books. They're fabulous. I will probably recommend the first one that grabbed our attention. And we'll see what other books actually relate to what you guys ask. So the first book that we read by Ken Johnson was called Ancient Post-Flood History by Johnson. I'll add all these books to the comment section, or the description down below. So yeah. That one blew me and my wife away. That was amazing. So we'll add that down in the description below. Full disclosure, there will be Amazon affiliate links. We are affiliates with Amazon. So we get pennies for every book that you buy. So far, I think we've gotten up to like $68 since we actually started doing affiliate stuff with Amazon. That was not that was That's a single letter A. So yeah, I finished the note. Flying by the seat of our pants with technology. Per usual. It's kind of like my brand now. You guys come to expect for me to be flying by the seat of my pants. Oh. Okay, so this we ordered for my son's truck, so that will be good once we get to that. That'll help a little bit too, maybe. Okay. So let's see. We will bring up the video ideas. And let's see what we have from you guys in the chat. Well then. Hey, bro. Where's the birthday cake? Sorry. Already ate it. We got a nice brownie cake from Price Chopper. Wasn't bad. It was bad. Okay? It was too much sweet. It was heavy. It was like, I should have eaten far less of it than I did. I don't usually eat that much. So, not very often. And I might end up paying for it. We'll have to see. But yeah, not recommended. Because I want you guys to stay healthy. Not sure why I'm not showing up as my alter ego. I'm showing up as my name. Interesting. Well, on my feed, you're showing up as Facebook user. So, what do you know about the book? He came to see the captive. He came to set the captives free by Rebecca Brown. I don't know. It sounds slightly familiar. Let me check, because most things are on Amazon. Or Walmart. There's been all kinds of things that I found on Walmart, like all these weird books. They're like, it's on Walmart. How is that on Walmart? So he came to set the captives free. I don't think it's came to see the captives free. So let me type it in. Okay, so it came up with just he came to set the. And Mo Egan. I saw this book one time at our local Salvation Army. It was in the used book section. I thought that sounded familiar. It's on Audible audiobook. I'll have to put a link to this in the description. He came to set the captives free. Rebecca Brown. I was thinking that this was the book you were actually talking about. I was like, he came to set the captives. And it rang the bell for this book in the distance. And I was like, it's probably not the same one that he's talking about, but it is. From the description that I have read of it, it does remind me of the book by Bill Schneblin called Lucifer Dethroned. And we do have a page on our website about this stuff. It is cardcarryingchristians.com/ Vampire. I think we also have one called Lucifer Dethroned, but I don't remember. So here's the description of it on Amazon. Subtitle is single letter I. It wasn't Okay. Subtitle: A guide to recognizing and fighting the attacks of Satan, witches, and the occult. Got him. I hate mosquitoes. For 17 years, Elaine, Elaine, served her master, Satan, with total commitment. Then she met Dr. Rebecca Brown, who served her master, Jesus Christ, with equal commitment. Elaine, one of the top witches in the U.S., clashed with Dr. Brown, who stood against her alone. In the titanic life and death struggle that followed, Dr. Brown nearly lost her life. Elaine, finding the power and love greater than anything Satan could give her, left Satan and totally committed her life to Jesus Christ. This is an honest, in-depth account of Satan's activities today. You will see how to, first, recognize the many Satanists who regularly infiltrate, recognize and combat the many Satanists who regularly infiltrate and destroy Christian churches regularly. Recognize and combat satanic attacks, and recognize those serving Satan and bring them to Jesus Christ. This sounds like a highly recommended book. It has, out of 3,139 ratings, it has a 4.8 stars. A 4.1 on Goodreads out of 2,251 ratings. Not bad. It is almost 300 pages. It was published in 1992, the year that I was born. 2 months before I was born, on July 1st. She also wrote a few other books that you guys can find. That looks like a good one. So what I'm going to do is I am going to go to paperback, because I don't have Kindle, and I don't have Audible. And I will add it to, let's see, I will add it to my cart, I think. I will add it to my private wish list. Come on. Now the circle's spinning again. Whatever. It'll add when it adds. There we go. Now it just has to reset itself, brace itself for more actions. And now we'll add it to the cart. I said we'll add it to the cart. It's going to add 5 or 6 to the cart once I'm done through clicking this button. Maybe I should hover over it until it turns into a hand. If you guys want to help us buy a new computer, you are more than welcome. Check out the Buy Me a Coffee link below. And you can add a little message here. Buy yourself some technology that's meant for what you're doing. You know, really let us have it. Whatever. Now I'm lucky that it's letting me scroll. 8 gigs of RAM, guys. Refurbished tablet laptop. Yuck. It's a Dell Latitude 7 something, I forget. So let's see. We have separate folders. On Blind Guide, Dan Corner, who has talked about in Gail Riplinger's, in case you guys have questions about New Age Bible versions, there is Blind Guides. That answers most of your questions regarding New Age Bible versions. King James Codes is another folder. And I would recommend Kyle Stevens' book, Sealed by the King. And Pastor Mike Hoggard, I considered him my pastor for a few years. Mike Hoggard's By Divine Order, and another book that he wrote called the King James Code. Now, what they are not is they're not, oh, look, the first two letters of the title page are my initials, and the first two letters of the next page are this guy's initials. We were meant to work together to serve the Lord. It is not that. Not saying that anybody does that as a total whack job, but it sounds a little stretchy. It was a very one-way street. The book. Interesting. You'll have to tell me more about that, Facebook user. Oh, I guess I'm on Facebook and not YouTube at first. Or first. Got it. Spray arm is back. What did you do with Facebook user? Titus, read any good books lately? Ah, boy. By the time I am done, there are a lot of books that I would like to read. I actually want to start reading books on our private live stream, which I'm still trying to figure out. I want to do a live stream for just the co-conspirators, and then maybe do another one public. I'm not sure. I'll figure it out. I've also got to make more short videos. Anyways, we are praying for a pastor at our fellowship. Okay. Post the name of your church or fellowship, whatever you call it, in the comments here so that you guys can see what church he is talking about. So maybe that'll open up some opportunities for you. And also Titus, if you have not joined our page, Friends of Gail Riplinger, I have not added people that have requested for some time, but I will have to do that. And I will also send a link for that in the description. So you can post that question in that group, and there may be somebody in your area that can help you out in there. So that might be helpful. Also, what is it? KJVchurches.com or something. It has like a whole list of King James Bible churches and what they talk about as far as the King James Bible goes, to what capacity do they believe it. And it's a really cool website. That's where we found a lot of churches. You type in like KJV only churches near me on Google, it should bring up the website pretty quickly. Yes, it was a brownie ice cream cake. You're gonna make me sneeze. You are not stupid at all. Thank you, dear. I am certain the Bible 100% has no errors. Thank you, Chase. and no phrases that have been supernaturally added outside of, you know, what God supernaturally added originally. I would love to ask the Mandela effect people who are up on their Bible reading, how many chapters, not how many chapters, how many verses are in the Bible? I would love to see if you guys, I hate to give you guys homework, but if you guys find an old count of Bible verses, that would be interesting to see. Because the Mandela effect claims that there are hundreds, basically, of verses that have just flat been added to the Bible, or even a word count of the number of words in the Bible, to see if that word count has changed or if it's inaccurate today. I would love to say what they would have to say. I would love to see what they would say about that. Anyways, okay. And let's see. Wallace, don't trade truth for certainty. Truth is very, very important, but you also need to have a certainty in the words of truth, because that will anchor you. We cut the rope to our own anchor when we gave up certainty in the words of truth, in my opinion. That I might make thee know the certainty of the words of truth. Titus, that's true. People don't trust God anymore. I think what he's talking about there is the thing. Could the two witnesses in Revelation 11:11 be first church and second state? I don't understand the reference to the olive tree and lampstands. That is a complicated answer as well. Prophetic language can be interesting, but I think also a lot of the time it is more literal than we understand. For instance, the beasts in in Ezekiel, the living creatures, by the time we get to Revelation, they are beasts, and they're just four separate beings that are covered with eyes themselves, and there's no wheels referenced. So it seems like in the supernatural realm, something can take on many forms depending on what it's doing. So maybe when it's out traveling, it's got, they all turn into the same thing and they have a wheel that comes out, or I don't know. It's hard to understand if it is a fourth, sixth, 10th dimensional thing. It's hard for us to understand as three-dimensional beings. It's hard for us to wrap our heads around. But as far as church and state being the two witnesses, I'm pretty sure the ancient church, which would be the first couple centuries before Roman Catholicism started coming in, where you have the people who are actually taught by the disciples of Christ. I'm pretty sure that the consistent witness of that history is that it is, who is it again? Moses and Elijah. I'm pretty sure that that is the consistent witness. I said it again. Whatever my wife said, I can't remember if she said, I think she said Enoch, not Moses. Enoch and Elijah. She was always gung-ho on that, and I was like, well, it could also be Moses and Elijah, and she's like, oh, no, it can't be, and I was just like, well, we'll see. And then Ken Johnson talked about it, and about the ancient church, interpretation of this, and it turns out that she was right. So the olive tree and the lampstands, I would recommend studying oil in the Bible. Olive trees produce oil, and the oil runs out of them into the lampstands, and also the lampstands as they connect in Revelation to the lampstands, the 7 lamps that are before the Spirit, that are before God. Ken Johnson would also be fabulous on that for the lampstand, how that connects in prophecy, because the biblical lampstand, I believe, differs from the traditional Jewish lampstand, if I'm not mistaken. Like, it has one more lamp, and it's a very strong prophecy toward Messiah, and it's like Jews' jaws drop when they realize that. It's a great witnessing tool. I don't have it quite nailed down because I heard that like 2 years ago, and it was a fascinating thing. So I would connect with Ken Johnson on that. He's at BibleFacts.org, and he does have a YouTube channel that is featured on our YouTube page. So if you go to youtube.com/Bible Version Conspiracy, you will see that. Oh, and apparently Wake Up or Else is going live. So that's fun. He has an interview with that guy who wrote the King James Bible and Supernatural Bible Changes or something like this. He has an interview with that guy. I want to get both of their books and eat them for breakfast. Lots of fiber. I need fiber in the morning. So I hope that helps a little bit. Ruckman's commentaries might have some good thoughts too, but what I would recommend, there is so much regarding prophecy and ancient church history that just really nails things down. It is great to have what Ken Johnson has dug up just from the Ante-Nicene Fathers and just ancient Jewish history and stuff like this. Before I discovered the Ken Johnson stuff, it seemed like every prophecy book was somebody either rehashing the ideas of somebody else or going way off in left field with some theory that he built up out of a verse or two, just trying to make a dollar with something novel. That's what it seemed like every prophecy book was about. Oh, how Jesus is coming in 2023, and oh, how Jesus is coming in 2024, oh, how Jesus is coming in 2035, and just... So, I highly recommend Ken Johnson's material. That's why we feature him on our YouTube channel. That's why I recommend his books constantly. This entire shelf, just about all of it is Ken Johnson. It was fabulous to find somebody that was like, well, it's nice ideas that, are you can look at what other people are writing is like, this is a really nice idea, but here's what John said. Here's what Peter said. Not referencing Gnostic Gospels, but like legit documents that are like, it is fabulous stuff. Fabulous stuff. His material on the canon also is very good. You can check a lot of that out at cardcarryingchristians.com/lost books. Okay. So yes, and it is also surprising, I will say, how prophecy interpretation in the first couple centuries actually is pretty much the standard Christian interpretation of prophecy now. It's like, it's mind-boggling because you think, okay, this is good, but then Revelation is so complicated. But then you find out that this interpretation is just how John explained Revelation to his disciples, to his students. Or just like, it's like, we still have these documents? This stuff still exists? We have this? Like, really? It's amazing. Absolutely amazing. I'll try to leave it there. Can't recommend his stuff highly enough. Love it. Absolutely love it. I have that book. Many don't believe that. Many don't believe it, but I sure do. And Lucifer Dethroned too. The Holy Spirit in me verifies that it is true. Thing is too, do you guys actually, I'll ask you guys a question. Okay, so the question of the day. Question of the day. Would you like to see the almost 3-hour tirade that I launched into late one night as I was reading the YouTube comments on our Mandela Effect debate, which was not a debate. And I sent John Kerwin an email about that, being like, dude, please don't call it a debate. It was a friendly discussion, but what you had prepared was not actually a friendly discussion. You didn't have a friendly discussion prepared. We actually had one, but you didn't prepare that, and you also did not prepare a debate. So stop calling it a debate. So, but anyways. As far as I'm aware, that's what he still calls it on his YouTube channel. I have not checked. So anyways. All right. So I have a question for you guys. Question of the day. Publish rant. Okay, we'll see about that. Question for you guys. I found a creepy, disturbing, horrifying audiobook. Yeah, it does sound lovely. Sorry. This was forever ago. It was not on a very good channel. It was kind of a sketchy looking channel, but it had a lot of Christian stuff on it about, you know, this kind of stuff with, like, he came to set the captives free, or Lucifer Dethroned. It was along those lines. And it was called Satan's Underground. I'm not going to go into it all right now, but you're welcome, dear. She's off in the other room. Thank you for not going into that. Got your back, dude. Or dude. Got your back, dear. I saw Dude Dad just came up with a notification here. That's why I said dude. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to call you a dude. Dude Dad popped up right here. He's got a fantastic channel, too. So if you guys want to waste every second of your day, watch Dude Dad. Really resonates with young parents, I'll tell you that. Like us. What was the lady's name that wrote Satan's Underground? I forget. But that's probably the most disturbing book I'll ever read. And I didn't read it. I listened to it. I absorbed things much better that way. So yeah, there's apparently she also claimed to have been a Holocaust survivor or something. Some people think that might have been programmed into her. I tried to get a straight answer out of Fritz Springmeier about it, but he was like, "Guy, there's so many other reputable books out there that are along those lines that are also good. We don't need her books or her book, Satan's Underground." She also wrote a couple others, I believe. It was with what's that lady's name that wrote? I think it was The Beautiful Side of Evil. Joanna Michelson, she wrote it with her. That was a crazy book. So if you guys have any more information on her, I believe the author is now dead, and I don't think I want to know how that happened. So yeah, if you guys have any information on that, you can post it in the live chat or you can email. So yeah, that's that. People sure put a lot of trust in man if they don't realize the Bibles have been manipulated. Yes. And I will say that that is unhealthy. It's bad. We put too much trust in men. And we put even more trust in men when we do realize the difference in Bible translations, because when we run to men with these scholarly degrees and stuff like this, why is the Bible like this? Well, son, let me tell you why we left that verse out. Let me tell you why this is translated completely different how it was in the King James, and how it's all not a problem. Trust us. And there's also a huge amount of trust in King James onlyism, in our intellectuals, like D.A. Waite, Peter Ruckman, Gail Riplinger, Sam Gipp, Douglas Stauffer, the guy, his last name is Ross, that just debated James White. He seems pretty legit too. There's a lot of trust that we put in them as well. I would hesitate, really, to trust anyone that is not Batman. I would hesitate. Because there, like was mentioned in the description of that book, there is legitimate infiltration going on of good churches even now. And that includes King James Bible using churches. It doesn't exclude you. That's why in our introduction we put, it gives the Illuminati mole in your church a rash on his backside if you subscribe to our channel. And if you share our videos. Because there probably is. And the book Satan's Underground and the book Lucifer Dethroned, and it sounds like the one that Charles Evans asked about, He Came to Set the Captives Free, by Rebecca Brown. It sounds like all of those books can help you realize when you are seeing something. And not just go crazy, satanic panic when you see one thing happen. And you're just like one sign, and you're just like, oh my goodness, this is happening right before my eyes. It might not be. Look for some other signs. Try to help them and follow the things that they write out for how to do it. So, highly recommend that, because I guarantee it is happening in your life somewhere. I probably don't have to tell you guys this, but kids that have the black kind of, bags under their eyes and stuff like this, looks like they haven't slept, like really bad. That can be caused by something that I'm not going to mention. So keep an eye out for that even. There's a lot of things that need to be watched out for. So anywho, let's keep going through the chat. Natasha Kutzi, not Kutzi, Coots. Why is Job referred to the greatest man of the East when in Ben? I'm sorry, I'm sorry, not sure. Why is Job referred to, I guess, as the greatest man of the East when in, that is in Hebrew, Job 1:3. Okay. Let me see if we can go to Job. Job, chapter 1, verse 3. And remember, of course, East is going to be relative to the author's geographical location. Like the wise men, we have seen a star in the east. They were in the east when they saw the star. They didn't see the star rising in the east. I think I have that right. Okay. So yes, he is in the land of Uz, whose name is and his name was Job. That man was perfect and upright, one that feared God and eschewed evil. And there were born unto him 7 sons and 3 daughters. And his substance also was 7,000 sheep and 3,000 camels and 500 yoke of oxen and 500 she asses, and a very great household. So that this man was the greatest of all the men of the east. And remember, his friends were also seemed to be, from the east in that kind of capacity. It sounds. Let's see now. Depending on where Uz is, let's see. Where is Uz? Where was the land of Uz? Whoop, Uz. Bear with me. Okay. The land of Uz, Hebrew Uz, I can't read all that, is a location mentioned in the Old Testament, most prominently in the book of Job, which begins, there was a man in the land of Uz whose name was Job. Uz has often been identified either as Aram in modern-day Syria, Teal, okay, or Edom in modern-day Jordan. Those maps are not very helpful. So it depends on where the land of Uz was. And also the author would have been the guy that spoke last, the guy that came with Job's 3 friends. No maps, that doesn't help. So south of Midian. So if we're talking greatest of all the men of the east. So it could also be that he was greater, the greatest of all the men of the east. No, that would mean that he was one of the men of the east. So I mean, he's in the east. So yeah, I'm not quite sure what exactly the question was, and also it just seems that, seems that he was in the east, so he wasn't like in the east like we would think, like Chaldea. It doesn't seem, but he may have been as well. I've heard some people say that he was a pre-flood entity, but that doesn't hold water in my opinion. So Dana says, thank you. I hope you do these Q&A videos often. Cool. I hope so too. I find it fun. I almost grabbed the microphone as if it's the microphone's fault that I'm saying but it's not. I grabbed my stop saying By the way, if you guys ever do have a question that I can help you with, another really good one for like Bible contradictions and stuff, you guys can check out some things on cardcarryingchristians.com/contradictions. There's some things there. I really want to get the book by Gerardus Bouw called Book of Bible Problems. I want to get that put on there somehow. We'll figure it out. Apparently it's out of print, and I'm like, rude, because it's like one of the best books out there on the contradictions. It is phenomenal. It is fantastic. The guy is like an astrophysicist. He really is. And he goes through the Bible, and it's just like, I can't believe that actually works. It's like, it seems so contradictory when you read it, but then he's like, but notice over here in this scripture it says this, and then if you take that and you look at it in this way, then this actually works. Or there's another way it could work. It could weigh this, and this, and those all work out to exactly what it says. And I'm just like, it is so good. So if you guys can get your hands on a copy, Bill Grady used to recommend that book like crazy. It's called The Book of Bible Problems by... Do I have it right here where I can see it? That's what it looks like right there. You may also find it with like a burgundy cover. The Book of Bible Problems by Gerardus D. Bouw, B-O-U-W, Ph.D. He also advocates the geocentric version of the, I guess it would be the geoverse. So yeah, it is fantastic. Where is it? Does it have... Did creation take 6 24-hour literal days? Does God get weary? The two accounts of creation. When did Adam die? There's probably some things that I would disagree with that he says, but for the most part, it's phenomenal. Who are the sons of God? Can God repent? Does God change the times? He changeth the times and seasons. Notice that. John Kerwin. Is the rainbow always visible? In Genesis 9:14. Why was Canaan cursed instead of Ham? Why doesn't God seem to know everything? Abraham's age, Abraham's promised land. How many years did Israel spend in Egypt? The lost daughters in Genesis 19. Ishmael's size. When was Beersheba named? Abraham's grove. Does God tempt men? Abraham and Jacob's fields. Many things to say about that. The number of Abraham's sons. The names of Esau's wives. Where was Benjamin born? Was Timnah a man or a woman? Who bought Joseph? Shunah, man or woman? Was Joseph bound or loose? How come Jacob had food during a famine? Did Joseph use a divining cup? The 33 souls of Genesis 46:15. All the souls of Egypt. The staff and the bed on page 30. And then that's just Genesis. That's the whole first chapter was Genesis. And he's got a section at the back about archaic words, about the Johannian comma, 1 John 5:7, about churches, about creatures or creation. What about the italics? What about Easter and Passover? What about the word bishopric? Slaves and servants. Different words that people are like, that's not correctly translated in the King James Bible. The Holy Ghost and the Holy Spirit, the spirits of God, the spirit, the ghost or spirit, evil and human spirits, the woman caught in adultery, the Holy Ghost and the Holy Spirit, God is a spirit. Who is the Father of Jesus? Baptize. So this is all in the chapter, The Alleged Problems in the Authorized Translation. He's got one, I believe, on unicorns that I believe he has one on unicorns. He's got one on foxes, unicorns, and dragons. Dragons, foxes, jackals, whales, unicorns. I would personally go toward the idea that a unicorn is actually what people would call the giant unicorn, the Elasmotherium sibericum, which is just basically a woolly mono-horned rhinoceros, which this horn was enormous. And if I remember correctly, Marco Polo described hairy rhinoceroses about the size of elephants with one giant horn growing out of their snout, and he called them unicorns. That was something interesting that I learned many years ago. So just something to keep in mind. He also saw many other strange things on his journeys, which we may talk about at some point. We'll see. We've been going for an hour and a half, guys. The reason the one witness can't be Moses is because Moses died. Hang on, let me get this visible. Moses died, and it is appointed unto men once to die, and the witnesses will be killed. Yes, so Destiny is not saying that they were resurrected and brought back to life twice. That's not what she's saying. And that's the argument she always used with me. And Ken Johnson ended up confirming that, and I was like, hey, I was wrong, apparently. It was an excellent rant. Well, thank you, Spray Arm. One vote for publish the rant is Spray Arm. And Spray Arm, we owe so much to you for being there during our misery with the funeral, on top of the car trouble, on top of the mastitis, on top of the debate thing that was a big pain, and then the discouragement that we got from other people that, you know, support us, and just, I appreciate you being around, so your vote counts for double. Votes to publish. There was one from a YouTube short, and then we're going to put Charles Evans, CE, times 2. Because he's a co-conspirator. He can say what he wants. It's still titled a debate. Thank you, Chase. Good to know. I believe Chase might have watched it. I don't remember. I know that one of our other co-conspirators watched it as well. I think there's only been like 3 that may have seen it. I'm not sure. I didn't like John's attitude during the debate. Thank you, Daniel, for checking it out. I appreciate that. It was a little like I had been hauled into court, and it was like, yes or no questions, yes or no answers only, sir. And I was like, okay. In such, like Charles Evans, like you pointed out, in such a nuanced discussion. I mean, I'm not. He watched all of my videos reacting to Cat. I keep wanting to call her Cat Hansen. She is not Cat Hansen. Cat Martin's book. Ow, my finger. The book bit me. The Abomination of Desolation and Supernatural Bible Changes by Katrina L. Martin. I'll just put Cat Martin's book. If you guys want to add this, if you guys want to have a good laugh, if you want to get discouraged about the mental capacity of today's Christians / conspiracy theorists, you're going to want to pick up a copy of this if you just want to laugh and cry at yourself to sleep. It's like, and it looks big, but it's full of like this, where it's just like a chart of verses, like where apparently things have been changed somehow. There's like this is the substancy part where she's actually talking, and it's like got enough room to write in between the lines. It does not do my typographical, typography heart any good. So I'll try to add that to the description as well. But he watched the videos that I did, the 3 of them, where I just went for 3 hours straight, rambling. Kind of my rant to my interaction exchange that I had with her on her channel. He watched those, commented on a YouTube short that I made about the Mandela effect, invited me on the channel, and then was like, do you or do you not think that there could be supernatural explanations for the Mandela effect or something? And I was like, yes and no. And he's just like, yes or no, please. And it's just like, he wasn't that bad. We ended up having a pretty good conversation. I enjoyed his professionalism. Much, much better than Kat's exchange that we had with her. But, you know, as it was. It was not a debate. I enjoyed the discussion. I want to go back on. And I think he wants to have me back on too. And I am all for it. I've got so many things that I want to ask him. So many things that I hope he has covered in his little presentation that he has going on, that he just kind of went through the slides for like the whole 2 hours, and I got to interrupt. It was like, okay, this is not a debate. No, not at all. If it is, it's the first debate in history with no time limits, no rebuttals, no question and answer, no debate monitor even, or moderator. So it's like, what do we? Let's not call this a debate. Let's just have a chat. Let's both get a cup of coffee, have a nice spirited exchange, which it wasn't even spirited. I did crack some jokes. I just gotten home from a funeral, for crying out loud. I was trying to manufacture some lightheartedness so I could get through almost 3 hours of material, guys. This is not a paid endorsement of Propel Water. But it's here, it's wet. So, but anyways, let's keep going. Discolored under eyes, a signal of poor gut health, constipation, and microbial imbalance, per the Unprescription for Autism book. Check that book out. We will add that to the description. Unprescription for Autism book. You might be gluten-free, and you might not even know it. Somebody that you think is autistic or may even have autism, I know it's highly controversial. I know that there's many people out there that have been dealing with this kind of stuff much longer than we have. But after seeing this book from this lady who has treated hundreds, maybe thousands of people, there is so much going on inside of our stomachs. If it's man, guys, it is like the be all and end all of our health is our gut. It's not enough to have to eat, bran flakes to keep our guts healthy. It's not enough to take a probiotic to keep ourselves healthy. It is insane how much can be affected by the state of our stomachs. So I highly recommend that you pick up that book, The Unprescription for Autism, and figure out, dial in your gut health and the gut health of your loved ones. Please. It could change your future. It could change their future. I've got no idea how much stuff has happened in history that could have just been fixed by gut health. It is, I can't even express it. We don't have time. Okay. Oh, okay. Ben as man instead of son. So like son of the East, basically. Okay, and yeah, that can happen. So translating the King James Bible, I am not a translator. I will admit that quickly. There are a lot of people that are very good with language, like Mark Ward. I don't think he really does translating. I'm not positive. There are a lot of people that do that I said do he that do translating, like David Daniels. There you go again. James White does translating. Ken Johnson does translating. Gail Ripplinger does some translating. She works with a lot of different languages. I'm not sure what her capacity is. She does pretty well with Greek. Let's see. Nice save, right? Let's see. Even Steven Anderson does really well with Greek. But anyways, as far as Ben goes, I believe it can be translated man, son. Oh, there's got to be many other ways that it can be translated. The problem with going from Hebrew to English is that, and trying to wrap our heads around it, is because Hebrew sometimes has words that means a lot of different things. Because Hebrew has a very limited vocabulary alongside English. So I had a friend that I worked with at Ace Hardware. I mentioned him recently. His name was Raphael. And he was like, he was complaining about English. He's like, English is so confusing. In Hebrew, we have a word that means something. And I came to America and I am taking these classes in English and there's something called vocabulary. And I'm like, what is vocabulary? You guys have many, many words for the exact same thing. It is, why? Why do you do that? And it's like, yes, it is. So that's why when you get Hebrew, people are like, wow, it's so hard to bring this over into English because you have a Hebrew word that just means a lot more because it has to be used to describe the same property of something. So like a human male can be a man, it can be a son. It depends on the context. Saying son of the East doesn't necessarily translate like a man of the East would translate in the context. So it's all translation based. All the translation is based on the context. That's what any translator will tell you. So, but yeah, I would definitely stick with man and how it is in the Bible, especially since man is one of those crazy words that just ends up running into the King James Code so much. I've mentioned that before with the code for the number 6. Wow, just mind blowing. I don't know if you guys want me to get into that or not, but if you want, I will scroll down through the rest of the chat. We've actually sustained this entire stream just on the chat. I was expecting to be able to get out some of the video ideas. There's like a ton of them in here. Questions on the Gail Ripplinger group. Borny Ray had some stuff. Just screenshot after screenshot after screenshot after screenshot of different things to get into. But we might not even get into any of that stuff. I always read that Job lived at the same time as Abraham. I would say that. It was very rude for him to poo-poo her in 2 seconds. Not sure who we're talking about. Sorry. Oh, got it. Cat Martin. That's right. Well, I mean, Cat Martin's... But I mean, even... I guess he might try to distance herself in some ways because she's just, like... It's like everything that she can't quite grasp is, it's a Mandela effect. Like... Christ was hung on a tree. Like, I think it's, where is it? Hebrews? I forget. But it's in the Bible. It's in the Bible. And, Christ was hung on a tree. she just goes nuts over that. She's like, they're teaching another Jesus. The Bible used to say that he was nailed to a cross, but now it says that he was crucified on a tree. Not that he was crucified on a tree, that he was hung on it. He was hung from a tree or whatever. From a rope. Was your Jesus hung from a rope? From a tree branch? You're advocating the Antichrist. It's like, I could see where he would want to distance himself from that. But she also goes crazy about the whole thing with, two men lying in a bed, the one shall be taken, the other left. Is Ecclesiastes talks about that, for crying out loud. Or the two women grinding in the one gospel, and then in the other gospel it says they're grinding at the mill. Same thing, different wording. And apparently some Bible illiterate homosexual out there tries to use that to justify what they do, and they say, oh, look, you can get raptured and still be gay. And so John Kerwin and Kat Martin have gone, that was added to the Bible. I don't remember that ever being in the Bible. It's like, okay, well, that is a irresponsible and brain-dead defense of that passage. And why don't you go and take the passage like it is in the Bible, like it's always been there, and go, okay, taverns used to do this all the time. Taverns were not where you would go to get sauced. You would go to a tavern because you're traveling. And sometimes two dudes would stay in the same bed because it was freezing and there wasn't a fireplace there for you. And if you did have a fireplace, good luck getting warmed from that thing across the room. Maybe you could move your bed up to it or something like that, but then that's extremely hazardous. A spark comes out and there goes you and your bed and the whole place, or who knows what. So two have to lie together to get heat, especially when they're traveling. Two men are traveling. Two men are walking in the field. They're traveling. It's what they're doing. Two women grinding at the mill, one taking the other left. And I am highly suspicious that that passage is not talking about the rapture. I want to see what the ancient church said about that first before I teach that too dogmatically. But it really resonated with me years ago when I heard Dr. David Jeremiah talking about that passage. And he's like, it doesn't sound like the rapture, because right after that, the disciples are like, hey, Lord, where are these guys being taken? You're saying they're being taken in the other left, taken to the left. And he says, wherever the eagles are, wherever the carcass is, there the eagles will be gathered together. And it's like, does that mean that Christ is the carcass and we're the eagles going because, oh, Christ is here, I smell Christ, let's go eat, and we fly away for the rapture? I'm not sure if that's how that's supposed to read. It's a thought. It's a thought. But then it's like, that actually sounds kind of scary, because if somebody's being taken, it's like, I don't know what that passage is talking about. If anybody can offer some light on that, that'd be sweet. Okay. Yes or no? Me likes me brain flakes. Yes, my wife does. He instantly said he didn't want to hear about her. Well, yeah, because the reason I think that he didn't want me to say her name was because mentioning her in the live feed and everything like this, he didn't want to get a lot of flack from her about, who knows what. He's just like, I'd rather not even bring her into the discussion. We don't need, just things that could come up. We don't necessarily have her permission to mention her here. I'm sure that that's a lot of logistics behind it. But anyways. Okay, so Apocrypha. What is this? Ooh. A whole article, which is 34 pages long. And it's by a guy named Donald Capps and Nathan Stephen Carlin. It is called The Homosexual Tendencies of King James. Should this matter to Bible readers today? It's like, well, that would be interesting. I should put that on. Phil Stringer did a really good video on this. The Real King James by Stringer. And that's a video. I'll put that in the description as well. That does a phenomenal job of going through, like, people say, oh, he was homosexual and stuff like this. Have you ever read his book called Demonology? You'd be hard-pressed to find a homosexual writing that. I wanna read that whole thing now. I've heard parts of it. I want to read the whole thing. And I want to get it on the live stream thing. And I'm not sure if I want that to be public or not, because it's going to be like my first audiobook thing that I do for YouTube. So let me know what you guys think. Do you want to see it with all the bumps and bruises and errors and, you know, all the stuff that happens raw? Or maybe we should have the practice with in a private setting with just the co-conspirators. It's a crazy book, guys. It is a crazy book. It talks about a lot of stuff. A lot of stuff. And I think he attributed most of it to devils and things. But man, we have lost touch with the supernatural aspects of our world, guys, in America, especially in America. Places like Britain, Russia, Africa, even Australia, different places like this, much more supernaturally minded, much more aware of what's going on. We're going to get into it. And I think that's one reason why the Mandela effect stuff has actually really taken off in America, is because we're just so dumb and stupid when it comes to supernatural things. It's like, you know, if there's like some spirit or whatever in our house that takes our keys off the hook and we don't know where they are, and then 2 hours later we find them on the hook where they should have been, it's like Mandela effect. It's not Mandela effect. It's like, you have a problem, you need praying for or something else. Pretty, you know, and that's not even bad interaction. It's just mischievous, you know, kind of stuff. Like, you don't want bad interaction with these things, and they will give it to you depending on what you're dealing with. So yeah, you don't want to just blame everything on Mandela effect, or else you could have some real serious underlying problems. Some real serious problems. You don't want to make the Mandela effect a wastebasket for all the things that happen in your life. Let's see. And then, yeah, phenomenal stuff available. Stephen Coston wrote a book. Am I seeing it right now? No, I'm not. Whatever. Stephen Coston wrote a book. Oh, yeah. King James Unjustly Accused. Extremely expensive these days. It's out of print. Hopefully we can get that out somehow. King James, His Bible and Its Translators by Lawrence M. Vance. Very good books on this whole homosexuality, you know, tendencies of King James. 34 pages. Also, in Awe of Thy Word, check that one out. Link will be below. Unjustly Accused. All these books, by the way, will be on our website when we get that done. We've got like over 100, almost, I think, 200 books on the website library that you guys can check out. So I don't have the actual printed things up there for obvious reasons, because they have to be purchased by, you know, from the author and everything. But what I can, I will try to digitize, which probably won't be much, but we'll see. By Vance, or not Vance, by Coston. And then KJ, His Bible and a translator. by Vance. And I think that a lot of this stuff with the Mandela effect thing, a lot of it comes from not taking notes in your Bible. My wife the other day, she was like, oh, wow, I can't believe this is in the Bible. And then she's like, what about the Mandela effect? And then she looks at it again and she's like, oh, wait a second. I wrote a note next to it. This was like 5 minutes after she saw it. She's like, that's not true. I never once thought it was the Mandela effect. I said what that truth was saying. Okay, ma'am. So she caught for a second. No, I did not. I was like, I didn't remember seeing it in there. And I was like, wow, yeah, that just goes to show how it was always in the Bible, but God always brings things to our attention at different points in time. You don't remember everything. Yes, you don't remember everything, dear, and I don't think that they could hear you. So anyways, she didn't think it was Mandela effect because she doesn't believe in all the nonsense. That's her little rant. But I don't know if you guys could even hear it because this thing isolates a lot of sound out. But anyways, she didn't think it was Mandela effect. Okay. She was like, oh, made her stop because of the whole discussion and stuff. But then she was like, wait a minute, I wrote a note right next to it. And then she's like, okay, so I saw this way back and I wrote a note on it. I just don't remember everything that's in the Bible. So that happens. And I'm going to get off of it before I get my butt in trouble anymore. So I wrote those two down. We got that. Let's double check the stream thing. All right. I agree. The problem of the Mandela effect crowd appears to be biblical illiteracy combined with vain imagination and satanic delusions. Yes. And the reason why that is because you're going to have a lot harder time resisting the Antichrist in one generation. If the whole first generation believes in the Mandela effect, half of them drop their Bibles. The other half has the people that drop their Bibles influencing their kids, so half of their kids drop the Bible. Now you have a quarter of the population with a Bible at all. And then the Antichrist shows up, and he's able to take the whole kit and caboodle because, you just isolated it down. So, and this whole Mandela effect thing is just trying to get you to drop your Bible, get away from your Bible. Most people just have given up on the Bible because they think that it's so-called supernaturally changing. That's just because they just don't read their Bibles. I listened through Alexander Scourby, multiple books, multiple times. And each time I'd be like, oh, wow, I didn't notice that the first time. And I listened to it like an hour before, or sometimes I would listen through the book over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. And on the last time, I would be like, oh, that's actually really cool. I didn't think of it that way before. Or, oh, I don't remember that being in there the first time I listened to it or the second time. And now I've paid attention this point in time when I'm listening to it this time. And it's like, wow, that's really neat. But some people can't handle that they don't remember everything that they read. And that's like sad because it's like, how much reading do you do? How many times have you read the Bible? I know that you claim to have read it 1,000 times, but maybe you should be listening to it. Maybe, I don't know, something. It's been there the whole time. Everybody else has noticed it. Not all of Christianity is at an uproar. It's only like maybe a couple of thousand people at this point. And the more and more and more it grows, the less and less and less you're going to see, the Gail Ripplinger New Age Bible versions changes, different things like this. That's all, when you type it in on a search, the crazy nonsense is going to come up, and that's going to cover up the real stuff that's going on. It happens with a lot of different things. I've mentioned that as well before. Fair enough. Got a jet. Talk to you all soon. Thank you, Charles. I would love to see a discussion and audiobook of King James's book. A discussion and audiobook. Okay. I would love to see both too. We shall see what we can do. So let's put to do. And to be absolutely positively clear, and to make sure that I don't get talked to as soon as this live stream is over, my wife has never and will never believe one iota of anything relating to, pertaining to, or descending from the Mandela effect. Are you happy now, dear? You're welcome. It lags because she's watching on her tablet. All right, so to do mag. We're going to do audio book and discussion of the demonology of King James. Okay, or just better known as the demonology. I remember the first time I heard of it, it was Stephen Schutt, Gail Riplinger's son-in-law. He is one of the moderators of the Friends of Gail Riplinger group. And he pronounced it demonology, I believe. And I was like, well, that's one way of putting it. I guess more of a fruit fly. I guess more of a anglicized way of putting it would be just the demonology. So anyways. And my wife says, yes, thank you. It is very sad that Christians or so-called Christians have fallen for it. If you don't have a Bible you can wholly trust, what will become of you? Oh, things will happen, that's for sure. That's been illustrated in a little book I recommend all the time. The Word of God Will Keep It. And this is not, like I've said before, this is not a book advertising channel. We make that much. When you buy one of these books, within 24 hours of clicking our link, we make like a couple of pennies. It helps us, and the channel, you know, the amount of views and people buying books and stuff like this, it adds up. It really does. And it helps. It's not, you know, going to pay the rent or anything like this, but it's nice. And, you know, I try to put it together for you guys. But it's not a book selling channel. That's not what we're here for. We're not here to make money selling you guys books. We don't even have our own book out yet. It's a viewer service kind of thing. I'm here to try to give you guys what I can to help. And David Jones 100% agrees with what my wife said. So let's add the Word God Will Keep It. The Word by Faust. Pastor Joey Faust of Long Run Baptist Church in Long Run, Missouri. Whom I really wish we could go down and visit this year. But with all the things with the car and just, I don't think we can afford it. We have more than enough time, but having the vehicle be roadworthy and just trying to, it just, the more we crunch the numbers, the more unfeasible it seems to be. And I don't agree with him on everything. Not at all. But love what he does. Been impressed. And his book is awesome. So we just keep throwing it at you guys until you all buy it. You all need to buy that book. The Word God Will Keep It. And In Awe of Thy Word. If you get any of the books that I recommend, the ones that'll blow your mind the most, the ones that I think might make the biggest impact, In Awe of Thy Word, which, tell them about it, dear? No. Yeah. In Awe of Thy Word. 1,200 pages of beautiful stuff about your Bible, which will blow your mind. Apparently there is a women's conference at Pastor Joey's church in Long Run, Missouri. If anybody that is watching this is anywhere near there, it is running from, I think it's this month in September. What are the dates, dear? Waiting for the lag. September 26th to the 28th, only 3 days, right? Yeah, it's for women basically, but you know, if husbands are hauled along, then they're welcome. And I was when I was there, so, and children, so it all works out pretty good. And I'm sure that they've improved from when we were there even last year. They just keep, you know, adding more and figuring things out better, dialing it in and tightening things up and everything else. So yeah, I don't see anything in the emails that has come up. I will try refreshing the page, and hopefully in 15 minutes we'll be able to read that. What was that, dear? She can't hear anything that I say. It has to all come through the feed. Oh yeah, I helped them build some stuff for their very first one with the tarp on their little shelter that they had there, and helped them out with the shower and their benches in their church. The pews were tipping and coming off and all sorts of things. So me and John, one of our co-conspirators, John Squires. Oh man, I hope I got his last name right, and then it's not. I don't think it's Squire. I'm pretty sure it's John Squires. We both ran to the local hardware store where they were selling devotionals right there on the checkout counter, and I was just like, and there's Christian music playing and stuff like this, and I'm just like, wow, you wouldn't see this in New York. But it was huge, a huge hardware store, and we picked up some L brackets and stuff, and ended up fastening those suckers to the floor. And then eventually they ended all my hard work, but it was practical. It worked for those few days, and it kept pews from tipping over on people when they tried to stand up. So yeah, it worked out. Let's see, this, that, and the other thing, 2 hours and 2 minutes. I like to keep these short. I could go on and on and on and on and on. The spirit is willing, the flesh is weak. What, dear? $50 to attend? Okay, it's $50 to attend that women's conference. So just so you guys know, public service announcement. So that's that. And you guys can, I'm sure, contact Joey about anything else. Any questions or specifics? It's called the King's Daughters Retreat. So yeah, you guys can look it up on Googly. Let's see whatever else we might have that would jog. Francis Bacon and the King James Bible. Some links that I saved. A critique of Gail Riplinger's KJV onlyism. An open letter to Gail Riplinger. That's by Dan Corner. How to rescue people from the trap of King James onlyism. Gail Riplinger cites serious problems in D.A. Waite's defined King James Bible. Whole PDF by her, and you guys can check that out and see what you think of that. Screen recording of looking for the top 10 questions to ask Gail Riplinger, which you guys can ask Gail Riplinger yourself. You guys can contact her at the in the contact section of her website, which has been revamped, avpublications.com. And then I have a multitude of screenshots. Borny Ray has got a big one. Oh my goodness. Cancel. Yeah, I've got so much that I've got to do some kind of video for. I've just really got to run through all of these. It's hard, guys. It is. It is rough sailing right now. I appreciate all your guys's, man, just sticking around. 6 people still watching after 2 hours and 5 minutes. It is fantastic. It's like it's unbelievable. John Kerwin mentioned the same thing. He's like, you just have all this stuff, and then you turn and you look at the end of your broadcast, and you're just like, I've been talking for 17 hours straight, and there's still 17 people watching. Why? What is wrong with you people, right? But it's like, wow, I appreciate these people that are sticking it out, that are enjoying this stuff, that is like, how? I don't know. It's cool. It's awesome. I love it. It's nice. Okay. It's amazing that I have this kind of energy 12:15. So yeah, anything else before we wrap up? I'll give you guys a second to comment, post, paste, whatever. I don't want to make this dead silence though, because that could be unfruitful. Well, there's even one more person watching now. Yeah. Just a comment that I was just looking at on the Mandela Effect video that I did way back. The 3-part series. The Bible was used to teach English. It was deemed a literary masterpiece. Now there are punctuation errors, spelling errors, lack of capital letters, run-on sentences. Obviously, was a book that was written meticulously, translated, and scrutinized, there would not be any errors, as there were not there. Okay, anyways. And that's the preview that Drive gives me. And it's like, dude, you got to realize punctuation was different in 1611. The run-on sentences are actually part of the Greek. So sometimes Greek sentences go on quite a ways. There's some record setters in the New Testament. And Peter apparently wrote the worst Greek ever in the whole New Testament. So the King James translators tried to bring some of that over in there, not necessarily the problems, but they would bring the longer sentences in. They would try to follow that kind of format. And when you have this spelling problems, it's like, well, how about if you learn a little bit about how they spell things over in Rule Britannia rules the waves, like color and ceiling, and about how the rest of the world spells ceiling. It's not how we spell it. Sorry, just a little bit of study goes a long ways. Just saying. Lack of capital letters. Oh, really? You mean like capitalizing the word he? Things like that? Kat Hansen lost her marbles about somebody showed her how the lowercase h and the uppercase h in some black Gothic fonts look similar, where the H is not capital like that with the crossbar on the 2 sides. It's like, a lowercase h that comes down and goes like that, but it's much more ornate and larger than the lowercase one. She lost her marbles over that. She's like, I can't believe it. They are demeaning the Bible. It doesn't always do this. There's a residual effect that not all of the titles that say Holy Bible on the front of a Bible have this lowercase h for holy, but some of them do. It's the Mandela effect. They're corrupting the Bible. They're making it so it's not holy because it's a lowercase h. It's like, it's not a lowercase h. It's just a black letter font. Drives you bonkers. But it's a distraction, guys. It's a distraction. And the 3 people that clocked out before that little thing there, they missed that, which is okay, because they stuck around for a whole 2 hours, guys. I mean, really, come on. Everybody needs to go to bed at this point. Oh, by the way, the Sam Adams video you posted defending the KJV against the Mandela effect was great. Thank you for letting me know. I'm glad that it was great because I really need to watch it. It's like an hour long for each thing, and guys, it is so hard. You don't have, because I spend my time, my free time, my long hours into the night. I'll either be up with my wife, trying to work on this kind of stuff, trying to just catch up, or just flat exhausted and just being like, I just need to watch some YouTube shorts and go to bed or something. And it's like Tony Merkel says. He says, now that I have a podcast, I used to listen to podcasts all the time as a trucker, and now that I have my own podcast, I don't listen to anybody else's podcast. The only one I listen to is my own because I've got to make it. So it's like, anyways. And yes, some of his other sermons to discuss it further. There's like, I think 3, maybe 4 parts to that. Probably just 3. By Sam Adams. That should be, I posted those. No, somebody else posted those in the messenger group. I shared it on the YouTube channel. So yeah, lots of different stuff. And I would love to talk to Sam Adams about the Mandela effect stuff too. And I'm sure that John Kerwin would love to have him on his channel because he just really wants to convert a pastor. He is promising his audience that I will convert a pastor on live video for you guys. It's going to be great and stuff like this. He's like really, really, really viewer pleasing oriented. There I go again. I've probably said so many times and I didn't even catch it. And now I catch it. His comments, we ended up great in the video, but yeah, when his viewers were not happy with the performance, it was nothing but, oh, I apologize. Oh, it was great to practice on a low-level opponent or lower-level opponent, however the wording was. Oh, I promise that there's going to be much greater debates coming. Please stay tuned. And just like practically begging his listeners to stay and pay attention to him. And he's like, every person that said something negative about the video, he just said the same thing, basically. And it was like, dude, just make it real and be like, this didn't turn out to be a debate. It wasn't set up enough to be a debate. It turned out to be a pretty good discussion. He said that, he enjoyed me and that I was fun, at least that from what I heard when I tuned back in afterwards. He appreciated that I liked and subscribed to his channel and shared the video. So, I don't know. I'm looking forward to go back on if he'll have me. If he wants to have a more spirited discussion, if he wants to see more blood, sweat, and tears, if his audience wants to just see more gladiator style, we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. Right now, nature is calling me, so I've got to go. And we'll figure out more for next time. Next video is, what is it? Dan Wallace on the conspiracy behind the new Bible translations. So stay tuned. That'll be next week. Same bad time, same awful stinking YouTube. And I think these are actually also posting on Rumble. So you guys can try looking us up on Rumble, Bible Version Conspiracy on Rumble. And yeah, I think these are all automatically headed there as well. So yeah, stay tuned for more next Friday. Be safe. Take care. Remember that the truth will set you free. It will make you free. But first, it's going to tick you off. And read your Bible like the devil's after it, because it truly is a Bible version conspiracy. Have a great night, guys. I appreciate you.